we're talking. So you need the cut apart sheet. Cut them all apart. This leaf paper with the orange on the back, and the pumpkin with the plaid on the back. And the pumpkin sheet with the plaid on the back, all you cut out so far was that 4.
Okay.
You should have cut like a 4-inch strip, so you should still have a good chunk of your paper left. Right? Everybody? Yep. Good. If you didn't do the first one, it's even better. So cut apart your cut apart sheet while you wait. Sorry, we're making this. Cut your cut aparts apart.
And what should we be doing with the leaf paper or anything yet?
Nope, just the cut aparts for now.
Okay.
Are you done with your cut aparts? You guys are fast.
Maybe.
I'm behind.
Well, I also was somebody who ended up using a lot of the plaid paper on some other things, so I'm trying to see what other paper I'm going to be using.
Oh yeah.
It was very cute paper, and I used it.
Yes, the plaid paper is just this part here. So
Oh, that's not too bad. I think I have enough for that.
Yeah. So Doodlebug has been making these like cut apart journaling kind of pages for, I want to say the last like 2 or 3 releases, and I keep staring at them and trying to figure out like a way to use them that's not just in a scrapbook. And so that's what came out of the madness of my brain. Okay. My inspiration. My lantern. Oh, you weren't here yesterday. No. Talking to my mom in the morning. Yesterday. And she's like, oh, it's like 5:30 in the morning or something. She's like, do you know what you're going to do on your live? I'm like, Mom, I literally like just roll my bed. I haven't even had my coffee. What am I going to do on my live? Right? I'm like, I don't know. What should I do? She's like, why don't you make a lantern? It's like Halloween. It's like Halloween decor. I'm like, oh yeah, let's make a lantern. That's like the easiest thing ever. They just whip it up. But I made a lantern on my live.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure she was very proud. Did she watch?
She watched. And then this morning, she's like, hey, how was your lantern? And I was like, didn't you watch the live? She goes, yeah, but you didn't finish it. Like, you only showed the one side. Like, who wants to sit there and watch me like stamping glue?
Apparently she does. She wants verification that it's done.
She does. Well, so then I know. Oh my God, don't even get me started. She's like, how come I don't get any of the cards you make on your live? Like, well, maybe if you lived in the States and it was easy, I didn't have to go to the post office for airmail.
What's in the mail, Mom?
Yeah. Well, I also have this box that's been in the mail for like 3 weeks.
I'm sure it's in customs.
Yeah. Okay. Then you're gonna cut the leaf paper. Okay, I'm gonna draw this here. So you're gonna cut your leaf paper, and it's directional because all the smiley faces are facing this way. So you're gonna cut it to be 8.5 tall by 10 inches wide. Yeah, so 10 across, 10 this way, 8.5 this way.
Can you show the little dimensions again? Sorry, Nina, your cutter is right on top of it. Thank you.
Sorry, of course it is. Are you sure? If you turn it sideways, yeah, their faces are upside down.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Okay, so if their faces are right side up and you're looking at it, 10 inches first, right? So that it's the right way. You want to go down.
No. Okay, ready? Here's my paper. Yeah, if you're putting it in this way, cut it 10. 10 inches first, and then 8.5. And then you should have like 2 strips. Okay.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Okay. 8.5 by 10.
Look at the same butterflies.
I thought you said you weren't making those butterflies anymore.
Making either clouds.
Okay, so the next thing, oh man. What did I cut off of here? So out of the pumpkin paper, you're gonna cut a 3-inch by 8-inch piece, and then a 2 3/4 by 7 3/4 piece.
And we want the pumpkins to be long, right? We want it to look like the upside that we're looking at right now. That should
Well,
be
so the
8 down.
smaller piece should have the pumpkins kind of facing. So it depends on how you cut your first piece. So the smaller piece is what is facing, and then this 3 by 8 piece is the back.
Oh, okay.
So it's the same sheet of paper,
So then we should do 2 3/4 first, so our pumpkins are going the right way,
So-
right?
whichever
8
way you
down.
want to do it first.
Yeah, they're all long, right?
They're all long like this. Doo, doo, doo. These are the little pumpkins facing up.
Like this.
Well,
Yeah, so then you'll end up with 2 pieces like this. You'll end up with like this backing and the pumpkins. It up a little.
So 2 big pieces like that.
Yep, one a little bit smaller than the other.
So 2 by 7 3/4.
2 3/4 across, you're right.
Wait, which way?
Right.
Cutting up and down?
Yeah.
I just cut 8 across. So I cut off like an 8-inch strip at the bottom, and then I cut my 2 pieces because then I would have.
We'll cut 8 on the bottom, going across.
This is what I did.
Okay. So they're 8 inches.
Yeah, and then the one you'll have to trim that little 1/4 inch off. Because one's 8 inches and one's 7 3/4.
confusing.
So do it this way. Do it originally like you had it originally. And do the first piece at 2 3/4 by 7 3/4. That's all I did mine too.
Geometry.
How much, Nina, how much is going to be showing of the pumpkin once it's done?
Then the next piece you're going to do.
Okay, good. I'm asking that because I totally just screwed up my pumpkin paper. So good, I can hide some seams.
And you can totally hide. I mean, you don't have to do the same exact scene, right? You can put little clouds, like whatever, the sticker sheet. You could cover things up with buttons and the little tags, the little word pieces.
And they'll go like this. They'll do that. Go. Otherwise, this way.
So then I inked everything. I inked all the edges with crackling campfire.
Off the bottom. There you go. Cut your little piece off.
I'm off on the camera. It's all weird. There we go.
3 by 8 is the first one, or the second one. 2 by 8.5.
Because it'll fit right inside with the 1/8 border. There you go. Okay, still too full.
Well, you could use brown. You can use anything.
What are you using? She's using the camp.
I'm just edging it with crackling campfire. But you could use brown. You could use orange. I mean, you have been her entertainment for the weekend.
Not by choice. Okay, so now we're inking the whole thing, right? This too?
Yeah, I just inked the whole like white edge.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
And then next you're gonna need a scoring board, a score tool. I'm gonna wait for everyone to catch up. What? Yeah, you don't have to ink. You know how much I hate white.
I hate white too. I ink it every day. This looks more finished.
Oh, I
when you
do.
ink.
Do you want crackling? I'll throw it at you. Are you watching football?
Yeah. Are you a football girl? Finally. She doesn't like football. She doesn't like football.
football.
I like football.
You were the one. See?
It's just me. I don't watch it.
I thought you
I don't watch college football, but I love NFL.
I love it.
I mean, I'll sit down if it's what everyone's watching, doing. I'll
If I have
participate. Yeah.
That's when I crowd.
You don't need it
most, is when
anymore?
Everybody's watching.
Not for right now,
football.
yeah.
I can do it right in front of the TV and be lost. Live in the life.
Mhm.
Okay. That one, and this one. Just this piece you're inking?
Yep.
I'm doing it.
Just these 3 pieces I inked for now. I told you I like ink.
I did too. I ate everything.
Oh, you know what? Did I do something yesterday? Oh yeah, I inked that whole inside of my mini book.
Yeah, I inked all mine too.
Yeah. Well, I used a lot of ink for that. That's why I saturated the brush like. I'm wearing the bracelet you got me, Amanda.
Oh, no.
I ignore it, but I still wear it. I'm not, no. Because Amanda bought me a bracelet that says self-care isn't selfish. But
Mine says, I am enough.
ooh. Okay, is everyone good with cutting? Okay, so we're just gonna set these guys aside. For right now, we're gonna score our white piece. So the white leafy piece. Oh. All it is scored twice so that we can create the flaps, like the trifold. So this white piece is going to get scored at 3.5. Oh, let me write this down while I'm doing it. Score at 3.5 and 7. 3.5 and 7. Do, do, do.
Hopefully we're not trying to be even on anything, because that is nowhere near even.
What?
These, and these, right?
3.5 and 7?
Yeah. So you have a little bit of an end and you have a,
Well, 3.5 times 3 is 10.
No, it's 10.5.
Oh,
sorry, I had to be the bearer of bad news, but
You want like 3 5/8 or something.
yeah,
oh,
just go with it now, right?
oh.
Can we fix it?
Oh man.
Just put it on the inside.
Yeah.
If you touch that on the inside, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. It's gonna be our inside flap. Oh man. I wrote down 10 earlier too. Look at me. Should be 10.5. If you want it to be a full flap.
Well, it does equal this.
Nina's no.
This matches perfect. I mean, it matches up perfect, but
What?
it's short.
Yeah.
So you still want us to do it that size though, because that's what.
Well, that's what we're doing now. We're pivoting. And you know what? It doesn't matter because these little cards we can just trim off.
Yeah, just trim it, that's all.
We'll just trim a little bit or we'll stack it like this.
Or you could trim off the right side. What? Score it?
No, you don't want to trim off the right side.
I got you. Okay, so score it at 3.5 and 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
3.5,
Oh my God.
7.
I couldn't even write a whole number down.
Or we could just grab a different sheet of paper.
You could grab a different sheet of paper too if you want. I'm
winging it.
gonna wing it with this
It
too.
looks kind of cute though when you close it this way, though, with a little bit of extra, so you know that it opens. That's cute. I
You
like it.
could, so you'll be at a pivoting point where you can put your
Whatever you want to wear.
little piece inside. Because then these could just overhang a little.
Oh,
or-
you gotta have the full one on the front to do this. I got you.
So
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do the overhang.
Yeah.
so you're gonna have it short on the top or on the inside?
I have it short on the inside.
What do you do? You do you.
Yeah, you do you, boo.
You do you. I'm learning, remember?
I am recording it. Isn't that fun?
Okay.
All my mistakes on the internet forever eternity.
So one of the long die cuts is going to go on the shorter inside piece.
Yep. So then this part is fairly straightforward. So the
So that's inside one.
these two long die cuts, the journaling pieces, just go flat on the inside on
Okay.
any two, whatever way you want to do them. What I didn't use was the owl one because I ended up cutting this one in half for one of the flips. Oh, right here. So you could see the little owl in the waterfall. And then here's more so you could like journal up here. I just cut that one in half.
So Nina, since it's a
Um,
little thin on one side, do we just cut the paper down, the Thankful For paper down? Or whatever?
So we could do that. This is what we're going to pivot. So you can trim it or you can glue it flat. And then on the other flap, you're going to have another piece and just glue it right on top.
There you go.
Oh, I like that. Okay,
So then you'll have like a little tab.
perfect.
See? All is not wasted.
So we're leaving a border all the way around before the.
Yeah,
fold,
leave
right?
a border all the way around. So this one I'm gonna glue down and it'll have like a little flap, like a little excess. So when you close it, you'll just glue this piece lined up with this. And they'll both stick out, but you won't see like the pattern. Look at that.
Gotcha.
It's perfect. Great. Don't worry. So we can take down.
And my book's opening the opposite way too, because I want my. Or you could even have, oh no, you can even have the front flap. This is the same size as this. So however you want to do it, you want the front flap so that it looks like it opens.
Can't do the cover. You can't do-
I'm doing the cover. You can watch me do the cover.
You're gonna do the cover now. You're gonna do it.
Well, it's the same flap. If you give my brain 10 seconds to catch up with my mistake, it'll work. Okay, my two pieces that were, what do you call this? That we cut down to stack.
Excuse me, Nina,
have to
can
write
you
this.
ask the people
Yeah.
to mute their cutting and stuff?
Oh, we can do that. Did everyone hear that? I think so. Can you throw me a tape runner or something? Thank you.
So you can still do it and open it the right way. Just use this
Yeah, that's what I'm.
on your on the left, and then cover it with this on the back. Oh yeah, it'll still look
Okay,
fine.
ready? So I'm gonna put my pumpkins. My pumpkin in the green that I cut apart the first, like the first steps we did. I'm gonna glue them flat on top of each other. And then I'm gonna take my favorite. So it depends on how you scored it. I scored mine this way, right? So my faces are up. So my short panel ends up being the one that's on the left. So I'm gonna make that the cover. So I'm gonna glue down this my favorite one with a border, like all the way around. And it's gonna hang off the edge here. Do you see the white behind it? And that's totally okay. Which way? This way. So this way needs tape runner. We're gonna put it down like this. And it's gonna have this part where it hangs off the edge. And when I close it, I'm gonna see its edge here, but I'm gonna cover that with this pumpkin piece
I was just, thank you.
that is cut the same size. So I'm gonna glue that right there.
I can use this because I don't need that much.
Does that make sense?
Thank you.
So then like your cover now has like a little kind of flap here. Does anyone have questions? Hey, I'm doing it. And I stole Amy's tape runner, so she can't do it. Do you want it back? You can use it. I can switch to sport tape. Okay, good. Do, do, do. Then you can't see the front piece and you can't see the back piece.
You can't even tell, and then it'll open right. So
Yeah, you can't even tell that we messed up. Like it's totally part of the design now. It's okay. So then you do that with, you can do it with the second. So this panel says I am thankful. So if your short panel is this panel, put your I am thankful and your fall traditions this way.
I used I am thankful on the left. She used it on the right. I think.
Oh yeah, whichever one you're using.
You're saying use this on the left. She did.
I put my favorite. Rose put, it doesn't matter. The right and the left one doesn't matter. They're the same size. You can put it on either side.
Could you go this way so this is open this way?
You could do it however way you want. Just whichever way you do it so that your cover, the pumpkin paper is the cover. That's
Right, so when I put this in, I'm gonna have it, this overlap here, and the other one that's gonna butt up will overlap here. It will totally work.
okay. So we have the cover flap, and then then you put the I am thankful and the fall traditions on the other flap. If I could find
Does
mine.
this have something on it? This other flap? That's my favorite. That's the back.
Yeah, so I used my favorite I am thankful and fall traditions. Do you see where they're all the same size? Yeah. Only if you know where they are. Shoot, where did I put mine? I lost my papers. My long pieces. Is that funny? There they are. You could ink these too if you want. No, it's okay. Well, yeah, whatever. Amy's gonna wait for.
Whichever you're putting one of these on the right side and on the inside of the right side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just that middle part doesn't have anything that's long. We have one long one left. Yeah.
Yeah, the owl. You said don't use the owl.
I didn't use the owl one. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what do we cut up for the waterfall? The middle.
So hold on a sec, Rose.
Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah, you're too fast.
Sorry.
I don't want to.
Sorry.
Don't confuse people.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Confuse people that are already confused.
Stop talking about yourself, Rose.
I'm a poet and don't know it. How about that? Okay. Totally works.
It totally works. I actually kind of like the little edge.
Actually, I made I'll show you what I did. Watch this. My edge doesn't even show from the other side. Watch.
Of course not. Level 7 crafter there.
Look at. So when you close it, it still is this instead of part of that thing. See?
You exactly what I did, Rose.
No, I didn't. I did it opposite.
Comedy Central over here.
I thought you did yours upside. I thought you did yours the other way. Oh, no,
Yep.
I'm all right. I'm good. I love it. It's all good in the hood, honey. I'm good. I'm good.
We're all good.
Great minds.
So, right?
Sure, I
Too
thought I
bad
did.
there's not a full service bar here.
I think there's still some
There's
mules
not.
that you left last time.
It's a good thing there's not. I'd be in big trouble.
Okay. While you guys are gluing those no, you're just gluing flat panels on. I'm just going to talk. So you should have left 4 3x4 cut aparts from that 12x12 sheet and 1 long cut apart. We're going to cut this one in half so that it's 2 3x4 pieces. Do, do, do. Oh. And then you can go through your paper and cut an array of 3x4 pieces from your scraps. So like here's a leaf piece that we used for the base. Here's some.
And they should all be 3 by
here's a
4.
pumpkin piece. And they're all 3x4, yeah.
How many more do you need?
So however many you want. So my waterfall's pretty tight. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 total. I know. So mine's tight because I scored at the top of each 3x4 piece. I scored it at 1/4 of an inch. And then when I glued it down, I butted it just barely. Like there's barely a little bit of space. Oh, where am I? Barely a little bit of space in between each flap so that there's a little bit in there. If you want to space yours out a little more, you can. If you want to do
And you
like,
said a 1/4 inch fold?
that's where I did a 1/4 inch score at
Okay.
the top. And so then the only, don't ask questions. Oh, the owl piece, this is my owl piece. So this is the only one, if you care, to pay attention to is when you're scoring this guy, I scored him at the bottom and made him the top of the flap. So he opens up. And then the other piece would be this one. I scored it the opposite way so that the rounded corner for the journaling box would be at the top. Ooh, I should have put this one down the other way. Look, my owls are upside down. Here's some upside down pumpkins.
Another Nina no.
You know, it wouldn't be fun if I didn't, right? So I have 14 cards that are waterfalled, and the 15th one is just matted flat down. So you could put a picture here. And then the rest just go. But it's 1/4 of an inch scored. Okay. I'm not going to sit on the video and watch you guys all cut 3x4 pieces, nor should you have to watch me cut 3x4 pieces and score them all. So we're going to pretend like we cut 15 3x4 pieces. You scored them all at 1/4 of an inch and you put your adhesive there. The adhesive goes right at right behind the fold. And if you look, I started it by putting the top piece flush all the way across.
And then you add each one.
And then you add each one after. This is just, I mean, I can do it. It's just a lot of just watching me put down score tape and sticking down.
Do anything else on the cover or no?
Yeah, we're going to do the cover next. That's why I'm just walking through this part. So you're going to do that. And you can finish that after. So the cover,
A 1/4 of an inch or a 1/2 an inch?
1/4 of an inch. So the cover, I took the little tree sticker and popped it once and put it at the bottom. And I took the little bear sticker and did a double pop. So he's taller than the trees. And then out of a scrap piece of paper, I fussy cut just a couple pumpkins. And then I put some of the little itty bitty hearts. It's very simple. And you don't have to use these. I might put a cloud up here because now I want to use that cloud that Victoria saw. And then I just made a simple little belly band. I took 2 like I took 2 of the ribbon strips, and then I didn't want it to be too tight. So I gave myself a lot of room. So you can see it's not perfect here. I even have this little like piece that I have to cut off. And then let me find my cutter piece, my ribbon piece. Doot, doot, doot. So I just picked 2 things to nest together. Doot, doot, doot. Oh, cut off some. And this is flat. What do I want to use? I have another one of those pieces. Mhm. What's my paper? What's the back of this? This piece. Oh, it's upside down. That's why I can't see it. I'm looking for like the happy fall, y'all.
What are we doing now? Cutting our strips apart?
Yeah, so I just cut the happy fall, y'all. Now that I found my paper. I'm gonna stick it down flat. You don't have to use the happy fall. You can use whatever calls to you. Ooh, so much fun to use somebody else's paper. Okay. The only thing is, all I did for the band was I eyeballed it. It's not very technical. So I kind of eyeballed where I wanted it to be, and I folded it around. And I don't want it to be too tight, so I'll make it a little bit loose here. I'll pinch it and pinch it. And then try to snip it at the corner here. Where's my scissors? So the first time I did it, I pulled it too tight, and you don't want that. Because then it won't go over your little popped-in bellies. And I'm going to tape it shut with my score tape because I don't want it to pop up and not be secure. What size score tape? How wide did I make the band? I just did the happy fall, y'all, and then the sunflower on the inside. I just used 2 of the strips. Oh, I shouldn't put that further in.
So we're not gonna use any more of this paper, right?
Yep, the rest of the paper is yours to do with.
That means we can cut some more of this.
I mean, do you want me to come up with more projects? I'm kind of burnt out. I'm just joking.
Yes, please.
I'll make you more. I'll make you more stuff if you guys want me to make you more stuff.
Those little squares are 3x4, right?
Yeah, the squares are 3x4.
These are 3x4, right? Yeah.
Yeah, those are 3 by 4.
Those
How
and
many
then.
fit in there? You said 15?
I did 15. Mine were tight.
I'm gonna do 15, but I'm gonna do them all different.
I didn't line my band up perfectly, so I'm just trimming it. Anybody have any questions? Cute. The first band I screwed it up. There's a lot of creases and folds. It was not my best. It works.
Doesn't matter which one you do your first.
No, it doesn't. It's up to you. The inside, like for the waterfall, do in whatever order you want to do it.
Just remember whatever's upside down
Yeah,
on behind is gonna be.
when you're scoring it. So you scored it. They're all 3 by 4, and you're gonna score it at 1/4 of an inch.
Some you're gonna wanna score from the bottom.
Isn't that 1/4 of an inch? Yeah, 1/4 of an inch.
I don't know how to make a belly band.
Did you just watch me do it? It's okay. I'm just gonna do it again. Watch. It's not even. Ready? Okay. I'm just gonna use this scrap piece of paper. So, and make your belly band. You might even want to wait to make it until you put all your.
Oh, to see how thick.
Yeah, to see how thick it is. But what I did was I cut my 2 pieces together because I wanted them to I wanted them to overlap, and then I centered kind of where I wanted the wording. Okay. And then I very loosely, like I folded it a little here, and then I folded it a little on this side. But see how like I'm not going tight. Oh, where's the camera? I'm not going super tight, so I'm leaving a little bit of room here and a little bit here. And then I just want the one, I have this piece to connect to, and then I'm gonna glue them together. And the one I'm just gonna cut flush. And that way when you're putting it on, and then, because there's a little room, you're gonna squeeze here and it'll buckle. So it'll go over if you pop anything up. Yeah, no problem. I like to be helpful. I don't like to confuse you. But in true spirit, I mean, we pivoted and this looks cute. I like the little missing chunk. Yeah, that's right, guys. Not only is it educational, it's entertaining to watch me panic.
Pull that one off like so.
Oh my God.